Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Can you guys let me know in the chat box, please? It's that question box. If you could hear me well, please let me know. Okay, let me know if you guys are, oops. Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hi. Okay, awesome. Yes, very good. Well, let me know, guys, where are you coming to me from? I would love to know which part of the world everybody is here from because I see that the room is full. This is an amazing turnout. Thank you guys for showing up. So where are you all coming to me from? Let's see. Otto is from Switzerland. Werner, hello. It says active, so I'm not sure who's from Santa Monica, California. So welcome. Southwest UK, Don. Great. Ralph, you are from SoCal as well. There you go. Santa Monica there's two people from Santa Monica or two people from SoCal. Vancouver Island. I love Vancouver Island. Victoria, right? Victoria is the main city there. I absolutely love it there. Butch, Florida. I don't know where that is. New York. I was raised in New York, I should say. I'm not from New York, but I was raised from New York. Hi, Jocelyn from Germany. Very cool. All right, let me know where else you guys are from. And I am really excited to be here with you guys today. So before I begin the presentation, I want to say one thing. I am here to present to you guys, and I know for a fact that you will learn something. I always tell my kids, if you learn one thing, and implement that one thing can change everything. So a lot of times, it's good to maybe learn here or there, bits and pieces. But again, if you implement even one thing now, and then implement other things as you go along, that will be the best thing to do. Dion, you are from Malta. Wow, that is very cool. Very cool. I love Malta. Beautiful country. All right, guys. So, what is the best way to actually really learn and retain things? That is through questions. I love questions. I am here to answer all of your questions because you guys are here because you're probably facing some sort of a challenge or you want to learn something new or you might have some questions. There are no bad questions. There are no dumb questions because sometimes the questions that you might have, you might feel like, oh, it's not a good question. You'll be surprised how many other people have that exact same question, right? So that's the cool thing to do is just ask. I always tell my kids, I'm like, ask. I don't care what the answer will be. The point is that you ask, and 99.9% of the times, you'll be surprised that your question is a great one, right? So please ask me all your questions. I am here to be able to help you guys really get a little bit more from your trading, from understanding the market, understanding this whole financial markets altogether, right? Because they can be really tricky. So that is my goal for today. And this is me. I am Marina, the Trader Chick. And again, I just want to say thank you guys for taking the time out today. In your busy day, I'm sure that, everybody's got things going on. The fact that you guys are here really, really means a lot to me. And I hope that I really am able to give you the most out of this hour that we are together. So today, what I want to cover, mainly the presentation, is really understanding the differences with day trading and investing and busting the myths, because you know what busting the myths are really? It's limited beliefs, right? Limiting beliefs that keep us from moving forward because we see things, we have these limiting beliefs, and I'm going to bust all of that today. I want to talk about different things to trade, about the lingos, about commissions. All these things are really, really important to understand. And once we could really understand the majority of it, I can guarantee that you are going to go to the next level with your trading, investing, all that good stuff. Now, before I begin, I want to do an official intro and a fun fact time. This is me. I'm Marina, the Trader Chick, and I am an expat. But you guys are the first ones to hear this. I literally just moved to Spain. Me and my family literally moved to Spain. It was like 3 days ago. And so now I haven't even had a chance to change my slide. So that's how recently I am here. So I am still an expat, but now I am an expat in Spain. And it's funny, every time I bring up that I'm an expat, I was an expat. I have been an expat in Central America for almost 20 years. Antigua, Guatemala was where we lived for 14 years. And a lot of people really, I always, I always get people asking me, how do I become an expat? How do I move to this country or that country? So at this point, I've lived in quite a lot of countries. If you guys are actually really interested in becoming expats in Central America or now Europe, because I have very good understanding about that, I'm really happy to talk to you all about it. But just I would recommend to email me, because obviously that's a little bit of a different topic, but that's something that I am very passionate about since I've been an expat now for literally over 20 years. So you could actually email me at thetraderchick@gmail.com. Literally, thetraderchick@gmail.com if you have any questions about anything and being an expat as well. Now, just a little bit kind of like an eye opener, I guess you could say. Before I began day trading, I was actually a fitness instructor. That's literally how I made my money, and a travel writer. I did that for years. And the main reason I bring that up is because a lot of people think that you need to have a financial background, a math background to start day trading, and none of that is true. That is the most beautiful part about day trading and actually getting into the financial markets, is that you do not need to have that kind of a background. Anyone can do it, and that is the coolest thing of all, right? Is that anybody can do it. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, another fun fact about me, and the reason why I actually really bring this up is I'm trilingual. So I was originally born in the Soviet Union. I was, I guess you could say, a political refugee during the Cold War, and I arrived to the United States about 40 some years ago. And Russian is my mother tongue, but I learned English when I was really young. So when I learned English, I didn't really learn a new language. I kind of just continued learning a language. That's how young I was. And that's why they say, the younger you are, the more, open-minded you are to learning new languages. But I learned Spanish in my later years. So I was in my late 20s when I learned Spanish. And one thing when you learn a new language, I know that I'm sure there's some of you here that have been, learned a second language in your later years, or even a third language. And it's a whole process, right? You have to be committed to that process, right? You have to first understand the basics. You have to begin with the basics. You can't just jump in and start talking to a room full of Spanish speakers, because you're not going to get anywhere. First of all, you're not going to know what to say. And secondly, after giving like a couple of little attempts, what's going to happen? You're going to start to feel really crappy about yourself. You're going to lose confidence because you're entering a room full of people that don't speak your language, right? And as I learned how to, I learned how to speak Spanish with patience and practice and showing up. And finally, one day, I just got the language, right? I didn't translate it in my head anymore. I just started to speak it. And what's interesting is the reason I even bring this up is that's how I took my day trading to the next level, or actually took my everything with the financial markets to the new to like that next level. And the reason why is because the markets, they speak to us. They actually have their own language, right? We first begin with reading the charts. Reading the charts, there is a language. The market talks to us. And when we start to listen to it and work with that market rather than try to beat it or try to predict it, you start to understand it, and you know what? You start to work with it. And it's miraculous how the market actually speaks to us and warns us about staying out of the market, or gives us that confirmation when it is safer to enter the market. And one thing I realized is that reading the market charts and understanding is literally like learning a new language. And every time I bring this up in different presentations and whatnot, I get people come to me afterwards or email me and they're like, this has been such an eye-opener, they're telling me, because once I could look at it as listening or learning a new language, all of a sudden it's a completely different perspective. And sometimes that's all you need, is just another perspective to be able to show you that you can learn how to truly work with the markets. And that's what I want to talk to you guys about. And the coolest thing about day trading, you can literally do it from anywhere. That is the beauty of it. And again, goes perfectly with being an expat. There, besides being an expat, we also travel all the time. So for me, day trading was part of a lifestyle, right? Like, it had to go along with my lifestyle. Me and my family, we travel 2 to 4 months out of the year, not consecutively, obviously, because my sons go to school. But every time they have a week off, a month off, we're constantly traveling. So you can't just take off work. I'm not a trust fund baby, right? I made all my money. And I could do that through trading. As long as I have internet connection, I could do it anywhere. And it's funny, people are like, when I lived in Guatemala, and used to do these presentations, people were like, oh my gosh, how's the internet in Guatemala? And I used to say that in Guatemala, majority of times my internet worked better than when I was visiting my parents in New York City. No joke. In New York City, like, there have been outages and this and that. So as long as you have strong internet and I have one chart, I use my laptop, you can truly work from anywhere. And I only trade for an hour per day, so I could just do that anywhere. And the coolest thing now about Europe, the market opens at like 2:30 or 3:30, depending on daylight savings time here in Europe. I mean, it's amazing. I have my entire day. I could hang out with my sons. I could take them to school, pick them up from school, come home, open up my charts, work for an hour, and boom, and then I have the entire afternoon. It's just, I love it. I love it, love it, love it. So whoever is in Europe or in this part of the world, you guys have an amazing time to do it, anything you want, and then trade. So before COVID struck, I used to do quite a lot of in-person presentations, especially with the Money Show and Traders Expo. But then obviously with the pandemic hitting, everything kind of went online. And to be honest with you, today, I prefer being online because I have so much more international reach that way, right? So anyways, that's the beauty of day trading. Now, let's hop in. What in the world is day trading? And why is it not investing? Why is this important for me to explain to you guys? First and foremost, and this has been such a big killer for a lot of people that want to begin day trading, is understanding this main difference. Unlike investing, you do not want to diversify in day trading. You do not want to have a lot of different things going on. Look, imagine your child comes up to you and they're like, Mama or Papa, I want to learn how to play a musical instrument. And you're like, okay, great. Which instrument do you want to play? And they'll tell you, well, I want to play the violin, I want to play the flute, I want to play the piano and the guitar. And you look at them and you're like, but they're all so different. First, master one instrument, and then you could learn others, okay? It's the exact same thing when it comes to day trading, because you can, for instance, if you're trading stocks, you cannot trade futures. They work really, really differently, right? If you're trading crypto, you cannot do Forex. They're super different, but you have to master the one. And sometimes just mastering that one, that's all you'll need to make the money. Now, if you want to invest, that's a whole other story. And obviously for that, definitely recommend it to have a very wide range and a robust portfolio. Okay, like think of Liberace. I don't care if you guys hate him, love him, judge him. The bottom line is he was a master at the piano, right? He was a master at the piano. And even though because he's so musically talented and he has actual real musical talent. I'm sure if he picked up the guitar, he'd probably be amazing at it, but he knew that he mastered the piano. Master the one instrument, guys, whatever it is. And I'm going to talk about that in just a little bit. But if you get anything out of this presentation, mastering the one can truly change your entire life. And every time I get new students coming to me and talking to me about different things they want to trade, and a lot of them like, well, I want to trade futures, I want to do options, I really want to do Forex. I always tell them, let's just focus on one. And after you get that one, we'll move on to the next one. And usually, once they master that one, they don't go to the next one because that's where they're making the money, right? For me, my instrument of choice is the ES Mini. That is the S&P 500 on the futures market. And it is a beautiful instrument. It's volatile. It has a lot of mobility. So it's got a lot of movement going on. That to me has been my chosen one, but I have met many people that have many others that they choose like the one. And again, I'm going to get really more into it. And the more you focus on that one, I can guarantee you will start to really elevate your trading game. Now, the other difference with investors versus traders, investors invest in companies, okay? For instance, Apple, all right? You guys, if you're an investor, you want to care about the iPhone 14. You want to care about, the electric cars that Apple is doing. And it doesn't matter if if Apple kind of falls, if it doesn't hit earnings this quarter, you believe in it and you're sticking through it. Day traders, we don't care if the market is going up or if it's going down. We don't care about the Apple 14. We don't care about Apple TV. We don't care about any of that. We are just focusing on the technicals in that moment, okay? Because it doesn't matter what is coming out in the future because it's not happening today. Okay, so that's the difference with day trading. And day traders actually make more money sometimes on the tanking part of the market than on the market going up. But again, it's all about the technicals, and that's what we really focus on when we're day trading. Okay, now let's break some of these ridiculous myths. Let's totally bust them because a lot of them just keep us back from moving forward. First and foremost, day trading is gambling and it's too risky. Look at it like this. Imagine you want to become a pilot. Okay, imagine you're like, I want to become a pilot. Why is it that it's totally okay for somebody who decides to become a pilot to join pilot school, have I don't know, an instructor, you learn simulation, you put in simulation hours, then you fly with your instructor, you give it time. Yet, when somebody says they want to be a day trader, there is no barrier to entry, and they just jump into the market, into the live market, without understanding what it means, a support area, a resistance area, understanding how to go long, how to short the market. No idea. A majority of times they don't even know how to work their platforms, which is, the cockpit of a plane. And then they expect to become millionaires in a minute. Imagine you said you want to be a pilot, jumping into a plane full of people, miraculously, I'm not even sure how it would happen, take off. You are on a kamikaze suicidal mission, right? It's an understanding. But people don't put that exact same understanding when it comes to trading and working with the financial markets. Look, guys, you need to have a strategy. You need to have a system. 95% of the people fail because they just put in their money into the market. Please stop. I say that it's like donating your money to the market. The market has enough money. It doesn't need your donation. Please stop. Simulation is there for a reason, that you learn how to understand what the market is saying, reading the market, working with the market, breaking your bad habits, and then you eliminate so much of the risk and you take out the gamble from it. Okay, it doesn't take a lot, but you certainly need to do that before you start giving your money away. Now, the other huge misconception is that you need to have $25,000 to get started. Massive, massive lie. What is this? Where did this even come from? So this comes from equities and having a margin account. I am going to talk a lot more about margin accounts because margin accounts are like loan sharks. You do not need a margin account. I'm going to say that again. You do not need a margin account. You can literally begin trading with $500, $1,000. You can have small amounts as long as you don't have a margin account in equities. You do not need to have this. Okay, guys, it's really important to understand. Anyone can day trade. You can start with very small amounts and very small accounts. You're not going to become millionaires, but you know what? Even if you have $1 million to go into the market and you don't have a clue what you're doing, you're just going to lose more money. So it's better to start with a small amount of money, right? And you can do that. You don't need $25,000 to get started. Okay, back to this. You do not need to be a math whiz with a have a financial background. I don't even look at the numbers. I have absolutely no idea about numbers. Algorithms is a word that is just thrown out there all of the time. People don't understand what it means. Oh, the algorithms are different, or buy this algorithm. Nobody even knows what that is, right? Except for the people selling it. You don't need to know any of that. The only numbers I ever look at is my profit and my loss, and I could do that with a calculator. Guys, you don't need to have that background. That's why I said that before I became a trader, I was actually a fitness instructor. And that is the coolest part of all. Anyone can truly do it. You do need to understand technical analysis, but that's part of the learning strategy. Okay, the other thing is that it's too stressful and chaotic. Well, if you're looking at this craziness, for sure. First and foremost, guys, this is such a myth. This needs to be debunked. You do not need this many screens. It is completely and totally unsustainable. No human can watch this amount of charts, okay? I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen or ever heard of this really funny sitcom. It's old, it's not around anymore. I mean, just repeats. It's called King of Queens. Really funny show. And there's this one episode that the main character bought himself like this 96-inch screen television. And he invited all of his buddies to check out his huge screen. And this is before streaming. They had DirecTV. And they're sitting in the small room and they're flipping, the thousands of channels every 10 seconds. And one of the guys is like, stop. You're going to trigger my epilepsy. Literally, guys, this will trigger anyone's epilepsy. You do not need this. This is such a lie. This is super unsustainable and nobody can manage this for longer than a few months. And after that, you will totally burn out. I have one chart, one monitor, and that is it. Simplicity is always going to win. Simplicity. You do not need any of this. All right. What is all this buzzing stuff, right? Look, the whole shiny object syndrome, it's a real thing. Stop it. It's amazing to me. I get a lot of students that are really struggling, and instead of wanting to stick it out and learn with me, they decide that they need to buy new softwares or indicators and algorithms. And I always tell them the same story. I'm like, the only people making money from that are people who are selling it. Nobody is making money from that actually being good for the market. Look, we all need a platform. That I'm not going to debate whatsoever. You need a charting software. It's a platform. It could be, there's so many today that are really good and powerful, and they offer free universal indicators. Okay, you do not need to buy softwares. You do not need to buy other indicators or algorithms. None of those work. Okay, just keep it simple. Your platform should give you the best universal indicators for free. All right, the other thing is the research and the news. And this is like a popular misconception, almost cliche, especially with equity traders. They get up at 4 in the morning and do this crazy research. Then they're on their charts all day. then they close their charts, and then they research again for another 2-3 hours. Oh my God, that sounds like a nightmare, right? Like the whole point of trading is that we have freedom. I literally sit in front of my computer no more than 30 minutes to an hour. That's it. First of all, that's all that the mind can handle. I do absolutely no research or news because, buy on the rumor, sell on the news. I actually call the news and all of these blabbermouths, these experts, they're just in it for themselves, right? They have their own agenda, and it's just a bunch of telenovelas. I remember when Jeff Bezos and his wife, his ex-wife, were going through a divorce, and Amazon was tanking. Why? Why does Amazon has nothing to do with his private life? Because it's a telenovela. And of course, after that, boom, it went right back up. You cannot focus on that, guys. You need to just focus on what's in front of you, and that is technical analysis. Technical analysis does not lie. It does not give you these ridiculous melodramas, okay? You just need to cut that out. Okay, another thing that is really, really huge, and I can guarantee that every single person in this room today who is trading has gone through this one way or another. Personally, I am as guilty as the rest of you guys. What is this? It's called trigger happiness. So there's this misconception that, especially for day trading, that we have to be in and out of trades all the time, right? We have to be constantly moving in and out. I remember when I first began, I used to take 40 to 60 trades in a 2-3 hour session. No joke. First of all, totally unsustainable just with commissions alone. Okay, don't forget commissions, they're real. And even if I was winning more than I was losing, again, commissions was eating away at all my profits. Look, the pro traders, I hate this analogy, but this is the best analogy I could think of. They are like big game hunters, right? If think of a big game hunter, they're not going to go out hunting and shoot at any little prairie dog or field mouse. They're going to sit and they're going to patiently wait for that big game. Pro traders, if you ask, the ones that are really making it, the ones that are truly living as a day trader, like livelihood, they take maybe 1 to 3 trades per day at most because they are calculated, they are strategic, they have a system. When you're doing this trigger happiness, it just shows that you have no idea what you're doing. It's an amateur, and the market loves amateurs, and it's just going to be taking your money. Okay, so you can break through this and really focus and get that strategy. Actually, after like my students work with me and they're ready to go live, before they do, I always give them a challenge. 1 month to just 1 trade per day. And it's amazing when you're only focusing on the best, because you could only take 1 trade in a day. All of a sudden, so many other trades that you thought were trades, you realize, wait, no, they're not that good, or the green lights weren't showing you for that. And it makes such a difference, and it saves you so much money. Okay, because I always say the most radical way to trade is conservatively, right? The conservative trader, the one that focuses on the 1 or 2 or 3 really good, strong trades, they're the ones that are sustainable. There's a lot of YouTubers out there and a lot of blabbermouths. They're, showing you their aggressive behavior when making these huge moves, but then we don't hear about their huge losses. Okay, there's a reason for it. And trust me, aggressive behavior will always get paid off with huge losses. I always say small profits daily bring you big profits yearly because you keep it going sustainably. Okay, and this term I coined myself, FOMAT, fear of missing a trade. I'm sure you guys have heard of FOMO, fear of missing out. Well, I cannot even tell you the amount of times I hear, especially new aspiring traders who are constantly fearing that they're going to miss out on a trade. What happens when you think you're going to miss out on a trade? You start to chase the trade. What does that mean? That means you entered a little bit later than you wanted to. All of a sudden, you're chasing that trade. Of course, that trade is going to go in the wrong direction. What does that mean? It makes you into a very emotional state of mind, and you're going to start losing. From there, it's like a dominoes effect. All of a sudden, you start to do revenge trading. and it just goes downhill from there, right? Here's the secret. Here's the secret, and I don't care if you want to write it in huge letters, huge words, whatever. There is always another trade coming. Okay, guys, there is always another trade coming. So important. So please remember, there is always another trade coming. All right. Don't get caught in the FOMO because that will just bring you into an emotional spiral, bad trading, and just a lot of losing. Okay. Now, I want to talk about what to trade. Okay, I have a question. Again, guys, you could ask me. I will answer all of your questions. You need a margin account to short stocks. No, you do not. You never, ever, ever need a margin account. It is not obligatory and it is not mandatory at all to trade anything. Okay, please remember that. I'm going to go into that a little bit more when I talk about brokers because people do not understand the job of the broker. I'm going to explain that a little bit more because that could change so much. So let's talk about what to trade. Okay, like I mentioned earlier, focusing on that one instrument. 1 second, I need to drink water. Okay, so there are certain markets, okay? Guys, it doesn't matter what you trade as long as you decide and focus and commit to that market. Forex. We all heard of Forex. What is Forex? Foreign exchange. It's, currencies. So the way Forex works is that you have pairs, right? Obviously, the most popular pair is US and the euro. Okay, so the US and the euro is such a powerful pair that, to be honest with you, why do you need to focus on others? I have so many people that I work with that are Forex, that want to do Forex, which I think is great. Forex is a great market, but they have like 4 or 5 different pairs that they are following. Look, you can't keep up with like the yen, the Australian dollar, the Canadian dollar. It's too much. So at most, I would recommend no more than 2 pairs because it's just too much. They don't move the same. They don't have the same strategy. And then you're just going to be, unsustainably losing money and not really focusing and mastering. So please do that. Equities. This is one of my favorite things. When I ask people, so what do you trade? Oh, I trade stocks. The US market alone has 5,000 different stocks. So when you're telling me trade stocks, I know that you are quite amateur. Why? Because the pros will tell me, oh, I'm into sectors, technology or pharmacy or entertainment. Oh, I'm into big caps, small caps. Yes, people do like to pretend that they trade penny stocks, but penny stocks are crap. It's, I personally don't like that market. It's very, very, it's not a good market. But besides that, if you are going to do penny stocks, focus only on penny stocks. Okay. And to be honest with you, I know quite a few traders that are killing it by just focusing on Amazon or Facebook or Microsoft or Tesla because they know those markets inside and out. They understand how the technical analysis flows, but you could do really well like that. So why would you want to spread yourself thin, right? That's probably a better way of explaining it. Futures, that's another thing. I ask, people like traders, what do you trade? Oh, I'm into futures. What does that even mean? Okay, the futures market or the commodities market. So you're telling me that you're trading wheat, you're trading crude, you're trading gold, you're trading the E-minis all at the same time. They are so different. I always say this. You cannot be in 4 different vehicles at the same time on 4 different terrains, right? That's what is happening when you are trading or trying to trade different instruments at the same time. You cannot manage it. You will crash all of them. So pick your lane, guys. Pick one. And that's the one. And if you don't like it after some time, but you've really committed, move on to the next. That's fine. But don't do them all at once. It will never work. Options as well. Options, if you guys want to do options, then stick to options. Don't do Forex and options. They're so different. And crypto, that's the other thing. I love when people tell me, oh, I do crypto. I'm like, what does that mean? Oh, I'm into Bitcoin. Bitcoin is one out of 6,000 coins or projects. So again, focus on crypto. But one word of advice, one massive word of advice, do not ever leverage. Do not leverage. Okay, I hear people saying that they're leveraging 10x, 100x. Crypto is incredibly erratic, and you can literally lose absolutely everything. Just if you're going to do it, just do crypto. Please don't leverage, okay? It's just a really huge word of advice. Okay, now let's talk about brokers and margin accounts a little bit more in depth, because a lot of people, this is what I get every day, at least once per day. Okay, which broker should I go with? Or I just opened up a brokerage account. Now I want to learn. So here's the thing. Brokers are very specific, right? They are stores. I want you to think of a broker like this. When you go into a store, let's say you go into a jeans store or a Levi Strauss, whatever, right? A Levi store. You are buying the jeans and the cashier is making the sale for you. The cashier is the broker. Okay, does that make sense to you? The cashier does not care if those jeans are too small, too big. They don't care. The cashier's one goal is to sell that to you. They don't care anything else. Broker's goal is for you to either sell or buy or whatever, is to make that transaction, because they're making money either on commissions or on your losses and your gains. Okay, they are always making money, and they do not care if you know what you're doing. On the contrary, they prefer you not knowing, because then they make more money. Now, brokers are also very specialized. So if you want to be trading crypto, are you going to go with an equities broker or platform? No. So it's better to first know what instrument you want to trade with, because you will be able to work better like that. I am not going to be with TD Ameritrade when I'm doing futures, right? Because I want to be with a futures broker, because they're going to give me a better commissions, and they're also going to be working better with my platform for futures. Okay, really important, really important. So don't go and get a broker before you even know what you want to do. Chances are you will have to change your broker, and a lot of people have already given their money to the broker, and it's not that easy, right? You have to go through a process, and then they get stuck, and then they end up paying more commissions or something because they chose the wrong broker, because they did it backwards, right? Now, margin accounts. I'm going to say this 1,000 times. Margin account is a loan shark. What is a margin account? Do you guys even know what it is? It's your broker pretending to give you a perk. They're telling you, oh, we're going to give you a margin account. And that's why they like it when you have $25,000 or more. Why? Because what they're doing is they're lending you money. Oh, okay, so you don't have any more money to buy more equities or buy whatever. Here, we'll give you this amount of money. But they want it back. Not only do they want it back, if you lose the money, guess what? They're going to go after your other assets. And even if you win money, they're still going to want an interest, and you still have to pay them back. Don't do margin accounts, guys. This is what makes it so risky. Just trade what you've got. And interestingly enough, because I am a futures trader, I have a futures account broker, and I have just the minimum amount I need to trade daily. And once I end my day, I immediately move my profits into my bank account. This way, I never trade more than I want to risk, because ego will always win, and we could always end up losing accounts. That's why you hear people saying, oh my God, I lost my account. I broke my account. Okay. So you do not need any of that. You don't need to have margin accounts. And like I mentioned earlier, you can start with a small account. Now, as I mentioned earlier, commissions. This is really important to understand. There are many equities brokers right now that give you commission free when you're buying equities or ETFs. Fantastic. However, if you want to do crypto or Forex or futures, you will be paying commissions. Now, if you want to do futures, and you're with, a non-futures broker, they're going to be charging you almost double the amount for the commissions, because that's not their specialty, right? So the same thing goes with feed. live feed. What is live feed? Feed is literally like the gasoline that drives your car. If you want to be a professional trader, you cannot have delayed feed. That's crazy. It's crazy, right? It's like literally you saying that you want to be a Formula One driver and getting yourself a smart car and pretending that you're going to keep up. No, you have to be in the right vehicle. You have to use the right platform, and you have to use the proper gasoline, which is feed. And the feed gives you the quotes, and they're usually live. So a lot of times, it depends on your broker. That's again, you have to go back to the broker who specializes. Sometimes the feed and the quotes will be part of the commission you pay. Sometimes you have to pay for the feed, right? So every broker is different. You could do your own research. I'm happy to help you guys if you really don't know. I have been now doing this for over 11 years. I can tell you, I know the majority of these ins and outs, and I'm super happy to help you with your platforms, with brokers. You could just, email me, please, thetraderchick@gmail.com, and I'm happy to answer all of your questions. Back to the platforms. You cannot day trade without a platform. If you're sitting on your Robinhood, you are not a trader. You are just donating your money to the market. Okay, guys, you need platform. There are so many good platforms out there today. And yes, you do need to pay. You could either do a lifetime license or you could do a monthly payment. There's so many different ones, but you could also start with just the free ones like TradingView. It has a fantastic simulation free platform that you could use. Once you start trading, you're going to have to definitely put in your broker with that, and that goes a little bit different. But in the meantime, you could definitely practice, okay? Again, I'm happy to help you guys find the proper one for you. And I also know which ones are good for different instruments, okay? So please ask me. Don't be shy. I love being asked, and I'm happy to help. All right, let's talk about day trading lingo. Again, I'm going to bring this back up. When you are learning anything new, it's a language, right? We speak a certain language, no matter what it is. Like, for instance, my 18-year-old son just learned how to drive a car. And me and my husband, we get in the car with him to teach him how to drive. And we're like, okay, buckle up, put your foot on the clutch and the brake, make sure that your gear is in first, and then remove the clutch. He's like, wait, clutch, gear, what are you talking about? But that's the language of driving, right? And we have a language for everything. And it absolutely blows my mind the amount of people that don't even know the difference between a sell and a buy, and they are putting their money into the live market. Meanwhile, they're accidentally shorting the market when they want to go long, but because they have no idea what's going, even like the terminology, because when you're buying and selling, they don't know the difference, they're losing money. As long as if you could just learn the basic lingo, it will take you so far. So I want to just talk about the basic lingo because I know that that alone will completely take you in a different direction because you're going to all of a sudden start to understand. It's kind of like if you need to wear glasses, but you've been using, like a really, really low grade and everything's really blurry. And all of a sudden somebody gives you glasses that are stronger, you're just seeing more clear. And that's the same thing. Once you understand the lingo, all of a sudden everything becomes clear because it starts to make sense. So let's talk about the basic lingo. Intraday trading. Literally, that's all it is. You are literally in and out of your positions in the same day. If you held it overnight, you are not intraday trading anymore. You are now swing trading. And swing trading is anywhere between several days to several months. Or you could be investing longer term, which is years. Okay, so that's important because a lot of people, and why is that important? Because when you're looking at your charts, and if you are a day trader, do you really want to look at a week chart, at a 1 week chart? No, who cares? It's still not in our time frame. We want to be looking at the 1 minute, the 5 minute, the 15-minute chart. If you're a swing trader, do you really want to be looking at the 1 minute chart? No, this is when you look at the day chart, the 4-day, the 5-day chart. That's what makes it all the difference, right? Okay, basic terminology, bull market. Market going up, market trending up. Basic. Bear market, the market is going down, market trending down. Super easy. Now, it's really important to remember that there are 3 trends. You'll hear people constantly say upward trend, downward trend, and then there's also the sideways trend. But the sideways trend has many different words. You will hear somebody say the chop, exhaustion pattern, indecision zone, channeling market, what else? Sideways market. So whenever you hear that, it's the same thing. It's a flat, dead market with 0 movement. You do not want to put your money into a sideways market ever. Why? Because you have no idea what the market is going to do. The market is literally telling you during the sideways market to just wait it out. Wait it out until it gives you confirmation for either transitioning or not. Okay? Oh, do you hear that? Sirens. Okay, let's talk about this. Is so important, guys. Profit target and risk management. Here's the thing. A lot of people have heard about the risk management when you're day trading. So what does that mean? Risk management is you are literally telling the market what you are willing to risk on each trade, and you put in a stop loss. Now, you are not doing a mental stop or a mental risk management. Why? Because it's as stupid as putting on a mental seatbelt on your child in the car and thinking you're going to save them during an accident. The ego is always going to win out and you will end up losing. So you need to have a very, very strong risk management. Okay. Whatever it is that you have developed with your strategy, that's it. You put it in and you do not touch it. What is a profit target? A lot of people overlook this, but I think profit targets are as equally important as risk management. You are telling the market that this is where you want to take your profit. I cannot even tell you the amount of times that I see people put in their target profit and then they move it because the market looks like it's going really strong in that direction, and boom, it hits their profit and turns around and stops them out. Ego will win. And in this case, with profit targets, it's the greed that's going to take over. Keep your profit in there. If you want to do a split target, great. Do that, but get some money out. Then move your stop to a break even, and now it's just fun. There is no more risk. You guys have to be in charge. You're telling the market that you know what you're doing. And when you're showing the market that this is where you're willing to risk, that's all you're willing to risk, and you're telling the market this is where I want to profit, you're all of a sudden showing the market that you know what you're doing. You're not just an amateur. Okay? Again, I'm going to go back to this chart thing because it's amazing to me how people don't have charts and are saying that they're traders and then wondering why they're losing their money. Okay, indicators. Like I mentioned earlier, your chart has your platform, the platform that you use, and that is probably the only thing that I really recommend you spending money on is your software, and that comes with universal indicators. You do not need anything other than your indicators that are coming with the software. Okay, really, really important, guys. You do not need to buy any more. Please save your money, please. Okay, and put it to good use. We work really hard for our money. Okay, you want to hold on to it. So this is a smart way to do it. And the other thing that I hear all the time, that some people, like, I get these charts sent to me all the time. Can you help me? Why am I losing? And they have like 10 different indicators going on. And I'm like, well, why do you have so many indicators? And they're like, well, you know, this guru said to use this one, and this YouTuber said to use this one, and this one. I'm like, I know, fine, that's great. It might be working for them, but is it working for you? And I was a victim to this, right? When I first began, I had 3 charts and 10 indicators. I'm not even kidding you. And I really wanted to go along with what some of these gurus were saying. Like, I really tried really hard with the Fibonacci's. They just didn't work for me. And the Bollinger Bands and the Kettler Bands, I was in constant stress with those. But what I started to do was I eliminated all my indicators and started to put one in at a time. And that's when I realized that I don't need those indicators because they don't work for me. They never aligned with me, and that was okay. you know, for now. So now I'm down to one chart and two indicators. I use the MACDs and the EMA lines, and that is it. Because I practiced it, I studied it, I back tested it for a long time, and these work for me. So I really recommend you guys doing that kind of a process of elimination. Just seeing which indicator really works for you, because you'll be surprised. A lot of times you just have these indicators and they don't really do anything for you except for put you into massive analysis paralysis, ending up doing absolutely nothing, or when you're in a trade going completely crazy and it just works against you. Okay, back to those trending markets. You're going to hear that, right? Trending up, trending down, and trending sideways. All right, let's talk about the buy or the going long. I know this sounds so rudimentary, but you'll be so surprised the amount of people that are putting their money in the market and don't know the difference. What is the buy? What is going long? I'm just going to make it really simple for you. It's literally where the market, it's you're entering at a lower price point and exiting at a higher price point, and you're taking the profit in between. Pretty easy, right? That's it. Don't overthink it. What is the difference? What is the sell or going short? Again, you know, I get people are constantly, well, if the market is shorting, that means people are losing. And this, who cares? Who cares what other people are doing? It's about you, and it's all about the technical analysis. And if the market is telling you to short, what does that mean? It means you are literally entering at a higher price point, exiting at a lower price point, and taking all the money in between. And that's it. You're taking that profit in between. So you're entering high, exiting low, boom, you're winning. Technical analysis showed you that, and that's it. Don't overthink it. Don't put any emotion into it. There's none going on from the other traders that are in there. You don't even know who's there. Who cares? Okay. Now, as I mentioned earlier, what makes the difference between a pro and an amateur? When you are entering the market just like that, you have absolutely no idea. You cannot put in a profit target or a risk because you don't know what's going on. You're literally just, oh my God, that looks like it's going high, it's going high, I'm going to go in. That's called the market entry. And that is screaming to the market, telling the market, you know what, this person has absolutely no idea what they're doing. And because of that, the market fines you. What does that mean? It gives you like a penalty. It's called slippage. All right. I don't know if any of you guys have ever heard of slippage, but slippage literally, for instance, if you want to go in, you want to put in a limit order. When you're putting in a limit order, the market all of a sudden starts to recognize, wait, this person knows what they're doing. And that's when they put in, you're putting in and you're telling the market, I want to enter here. But if you're just going at a market entry, the market, you'll put it in, but the market will fill you 20% less than what you want it to be in, or 25, depending on the instrument that you are doing. So you really need to develop that strategy and show the market where you want to enter. And I'm going to go back to the stop limit, because without it, that risk management, you might as well just give all your money to the market right away, because the ego will always win. And when the market turns on you, your ego is going to be telling you it's going to turn back for you, it's going to turn back for you, and it doesn't. And next thing you know, you have no more account. It's happened to me several times, and I know that it happened quite a lot. You need to have that stop limit in place. You need to have your risk management in place. You need to back test it to know that this is what you like, and you need to have a strong conviction and commitment to that stop limit. All right, technical analysis. I've mentioned technical analysis 1,000 times, even just in this presentation alone, correct? So what is technical analysis? What is technical analysis? It is literally, when I was saying to you that the market speaks its language to us, this is it. This is the language that it talks to us in. And it's a beautiful, simple language to listen to. And you don't need to have hundreds of indicators. On the contrary, the more simpler your charts are, the better. And the coolest thing of all, technical analysis is free. It could be done on any chart with any instrument. So let's begin with the basics. The areas. What are the areas? They are support and resistance areas. So what is a resistance area? So when your market is moving up and all of a sudden starts to hit an area over and over and over again, it is the ceiling of an area. The market is respecting that area, and you need to draw that in, and you need to respect it as well. And when you see the resistance area, you need to fully stay away. What does that mean? That the market kind of like hits that same area over and over again, because it's unsure. It's not sure if it wants to move past that. And you, as the trader, needs to respect that. You need to draw it in. And again, back to the platforms, every software and platform, they give you free drawing tools, even if it's as basic as a line, so that you know what is going on there. And once you also draw that in, you're also able to see when the transition happens and when a breakout happens, right? Because those are the best times to enter trades. So what is a support area? It's when it's a market going down and it's starting to hit a floor over and over and over again, and it revisits that area. That is a support area. And the market respects those areas, and we need to understand them, draw them in, and respect them just the same. Okay, reversal patterns. These are my absolute favorite. I don't care if you guys have any indicators or no indicators. Price action, this is what you could follow, and it's free. What is a reversal pattern? It is a double top, a triple top, a double bottom, a triple bottom, a head and shoulders. It's when the market is showing you that there is a very strong potential for reversal. It is not telling you that it is 100%. Nothing is 100% in the market. But what it's also telling you is that the market is starting to lose its strength. It's starting to lose its speed in that direction. And that is the most important thing, recognizing these reversal patterns. And they're so simple and they're so easy to follow. I love them. I live by them. But the one that I live the most by is divergence. Divergence is my absolute holy grail. Why? I use two indicators. I use the MACDs and the EMAs. The MACDs I have found over years of trial and error is that it is the least lagging indicator out there. So as you can see here, my price action is moving up, but my MACDs are moving down. So what does that mean? It means that the market is losing steam. It's losing its energy, right? That is the most important thing of all. And that can be used in any instrument with any kind of financial market. And it's so easy to read. It's right there in front of you. Now, I want to put all of this together, because if you guys are not using your technical analysis, you're going to miss out on some of the most powerful moves. And one of the most powerful moves out there is the breakout trade, right? How are you going to spot that breakout trade? If you do not have your resistance or support area drawn in, you're going to miss it. So what is a breakout trade? Imagine you're driving in a car and you're driving north. And all of a sudden there's this huge sign, and it's a detour because it's construction. It's a huge construction sign, and the construction worker is like, you got to get off the road. And all of a sudden you are stuck in no man's land, right? You don't know if they're going to reopen the road. You don't know where you are. You don't know if they're going to continue with the detour signs. Basically, you are stressing out because you don't know where you are. You're in total uncertainty zone, right? That's that channel, that sideways market. But then all of a sudden, the construction worker says, okay, it's fixed. You can continue on up. And then boom, you're continuing in the same direction. That's what a breakout is. You're driving, all of a sudden, construction area, and then boom, you are reopened and you're continuing with renewed energy in the same exact direction. That is a breakout trade. This is the beauty of it, but you cannot find it unless you have drawn in your areas, the resistance and the support area. All right. Now, this is putting it all together, because if you guys don't have this all worked out and understand the lingo that you're going to be going long, that you're going to be looking for a short, all of that, putting it together, once you have that, and you know what's the greatest part about it? It's not hard. That's the easiest part about it. It's not hard, right? Understanding, just drawing in those support and resistance areas, you've already cut out so many bad trades. Okay, recognizing when the movement moves up, understanding when there is a reversal pattern that is telling you that the market is slowing down and losing its strength and you should not be in the market. That's all it takes. Okay, and that's the thing, is that we have absolutely everything we need to take action, right? We have everything. We have YouTube channels, we have these summits, we have podcasts, we have books. But then at the end of the day, how do you know that you're doing it right? How do you know that you are doing it right? Who is there to say to you, oh, yeah, that's the correct way to do it? Oh, don't enter there because you haven't drawn in that area. Oh, it's a sideways market. How do you know you're doing it right? Because all of this is great, but the real question that you're probably asking is, how do I get started? This isn't only for the beginners, right? I get a lot of seasoned traders that constantly are asking me the same thing because they're still not consistently winning money. They're still not consistently being profitable. And they ask, what can I do to turn this around to become profitable consistently? And a lot of times it's as simple as lacking the understanding of the basics, right? I always say, that's the thing with the financial markets, is that there is no barrier to entry. Okay, so a lot of times as we start to put in windows before we have built our walls, right? And the windows just keep on crashing. And the wall is the basic foundation. Okay, it's understanding the basics. It's like literally getting into a car. I don't know if you guys could go back in your minds when you first learned how to drive a car. Like I said, me and my husband had this advantage right now that our 18-year-old just learned how to drive a car, and we realized how many things they're just automatic. They weren't when we first sat down, right? Where is the gear shift? Where is the clutch? Understanding how to release the brake and the clutch at the same time. Where is even the steering wheel? Like, these are basics, right? That we are taught. And now when we hop in the car, they're just so basic to us and automatic that we don't even think about it. But we could never drive if we didn't know where the steering wheel was, right? Imagine somebody who has never been in a car in their lives, and those people still exist, and they get in your car and you're like, all right, buckle up, it's going to save your life. Put on your seatbelts, buckle up, it's going to save your life. And that person is sitting there and they are freaking out. They're like, buckle up, seatbelts, it's going to save my life. But what is it? Because no one showed them what it was. How are they supposed to put something on that can literally save their lives? And that's what the basics are. A lot of times when we are, spending all these money, a lot of money on these mentors or these academies, they overlook the basics, right? It's kind of like going back to the analogy of your child wanting to learn a musical instrument. Imagine they want to play the violin and they arrive to the academy, and instead of going into the big basic classes, how to hold the violin, how to hold the bow, they're thrown into the symphonic pit and are expected to keep up with the professionals. They're never going to be able to do that, right? And that happens a lot. You need to start with the basics. And this was my own personal sad truth. I spent over $20,000 on my own education, my own trading education. And a lot of times what was happening was I was sitting in these chat rooms and I was having these mentors and I was asking basic questions. Can you please explain to me what is the divergence? Can you show me the support area? And I was either fully ignored or treated as if though I was born with that information. Nobody is born with any information. We learn it all. And that's the good part about it, right? Because I was struggling for years and I was losing money all the time because I didn't understand those basics, to the point that I literally lost almost $4,000 in 5 minutes because I didn't have that structure. I didn't have my wall built in and my windows were constantly crashing. And after some time, I just quit. I quit. I was devastated. I felt defeated and I quit. But here's the thing, and I know for a fact that everybody in this room has the same feeling, that we are bit by the trading bug and it does not stop itching. And do you know why? Do you know why that is? because deep down inside, we know that we could do this, right? We're seeing other people doing it. That means we know that we could do it. If they could do it, we certainly can do it, right? And that's the beauty of it. And that's when I quit. I quit for like 4 or 5 months, but then I decided to come back, but only get back to the basics. I stripped my chart. Remember I told you I had like 10 indicators? I stripped my chart, only had the bare naked charts. I used to have 3 monitors. I literally took 2 of those monitors, which were practically new, and almost practically donated them to the garbage men. They were high definition, beautiful monitors, and I just put them out, and whatever they did with them, they did with them. And I went back to the basics. And it's funny, recently, a few years back, one of my students says to me, you know, Marina, your teaching style is very similar to Coach John Wooden. And I'm like, who's Coach John Wooden? I've never heard of Coach John Wooden in my life, right? Of course, I went and I started to do research on him. And I really, this man was a legendary, he still is, I think, a legend, even though he's passed away, legendary basketball coach. And his entire teaching philosophy, coaching philosophy was, when in doubt, get back to the basics. And this man won 88 national championships, 10 NCAAs. I mean, this guy was, the accolades are just incredible. And he trained superstars, right? I mean, these basketball players were unbelievable. But every time they started training in the new season, he would get back to the basics. How to tie your shoe, how to roll up your sock, how to dribble the ball. Why? Because it doesn't matter what your ego is telling you that you know and how many championships you won, because if you're out on the court and you didn't tie your shoelace properly, guess what? Your shoe is going to fall off. You could probably break your leg, sprain an ankle, and then you're out for the entire season. It doesn't matter what you know, because the basics weren't taken care of. You were putting in that window without having that wall to hold it in. And today, for you guys, for the people that are here only participants, I have a really special offer. I have my introductory course, which I created, called Bootcamp for Day Trading. You could do this on any apparatus, laptop, desktop, tablets, iPhones, Samsungs, it doesn't matter. All of this, one-time fee of $97. One-time fee. You could go here right now, bootcampfordaytrading.com. Go and put it into your browser right now, bootcampfordaytrading.com, so you can follow along to see what it is all about. One time. This is not an ongoing, this is not a membership, it's a one-time price. Now, let's talk about this. What can you get for $97 today that brings you the same amount of return on your investment? Do you guys like to play golf? Because here's the thing. When I was living in Guatemala, we have a golf course. When we first moved there 15 years ago, the golf was like $25. Before leaving, $97 didn't even pay for one person, and that's in Guatemala. So I could imagine how much it costs in other parts of the world. How about going out to lunch, taking your friends out to lunch? When we first moved to Guatemala, me and my husband could go out and have a delicious meal with wine for less than $25. Before leaving, $97 barely covered one person with a good meal and wine. Yes, we did like to go to upper scale restaurants, but still, $97 not even fully covered one person. Okay, so let me break it down for you guys. Bootcampfordaytrading.com. You can go here and follow along. What do you guys get in this course? First of all, to simplify your entire day trading process. And like I mentioned earlier, you need a charting platform. And I know that that could feel like a real obstacle for a lot of people. And I break that obstacle down for you. We work together. I have a 30-minute setup tutorial so that there isn't any real time spent on that, because you guys get right into it and we start to trade. We get into the good stuff, right? So then we learn the market anatomy, the process, right? The dissecting of those markets, the uptrends, the downward trends, and the most important one of all, the sideways market. Okay, then we recognize the magic telltale signs, the reversal areas and divergences. And again, Those are all free because it's just understanding and reading what the chart, what the price action is telling you. But you're going to be able to learn how to really recognize these areas. Okay, and then we have the defensive zone strategies. Like I mentioned earlier, support and resistance areas. These are so important. It's in areas that the market respects. But if you don't know what you're looking for, if you don't know how to draw them in properly, how are you going to be able to respect what the market is telling you to stay out of? So we go through all of that in depth, really going into that to understand that what divergence is all about. Then we learn the power of that breakout. What is a breakout? Spotting those breakouts, and most importantly, how to avoid the fake out breakouts, because those happen a lot, guys, and we can totally avoid the fake out breakouts. Okay, super important, and you can do it, and it's easy to spot. All right, this way you can avoid it and know exactly what it's all about. And you get unlimited access to the curriculum, which is completely priceless. All right, oops. So all of this is valued at $1,600. All of that is in the course is valued at $1,600. So you get all of this, the framework, the market anatomy process, the defensive zone strategies, and mastering the breakout. Now, this is what my students say, and I have students all over the world. That's the beauty of trading, right? Is that you could do this from anywhere in the world. So, Michelle, the feedback is invaluable. Best money I ever spent. Derek, you're the only mentor that truly checks the work, that really works with you. Thank you for all the work. Adrian, I am so enjoying your bootcamp course. I am learning every single day. So let me share something really, really important with you guys. Remember when I first asked you, how do you know you're doing it right? Okay, how do you know that you're doing it right? I mean, you could be watching all these YouTube videos, you could be listening to all these summits, you could be listening to all these podcasts, but at the end of the day, how do you know that you're doing it right? How do you know what you're looking at the chart is the right thing? So because of that, I am including in the $97 one-time fee 1 month of working one-on-one with me, unlimited feedback, coaching, mentoring. You could ask me all your questions. You will be sending me your charts so that we review those charts together, so that we work together. Because I cannot even tell you, having a mentor, that could be the difference for it all. Okay, having that mentor could change everything for you guys, and that is me. That is included in that one-time $97. Look, the reason why it's so low is because I honestly am so tired of seeing how a lot of people are just telling you to do this and that without actually really teaching and supporting and being there for accountability. And the donating your money to the market, it's got to stop, right? Like we could totally avoid that. And I'm just tired of people losing money for no reason when it's so avoidable. And that's really what I want to go into. And I have one last best for last bonus for you guys. I run a live trade chat room. And it's me, not any administrator, not any moderator. It's me. And you will get free 1 month membership in that live trade chat room, completely free, where this is where we are in the live market, implementing, entering live trades, going through everything. This is on top of, it's an extra on top of the bonus of the mentorship. The mentorship is separate. That is me and you, one-on-one feedback, personal accountability. All of this is valued at $2,600. But because you guys are here and I so value your time, I don't give this price to anyone. You guys are the only ones that are getting this price for the live participants only. Nobody else. $97. Bootcampfordaytrading.com. You could go here right now. Just put it in bootcampfordaytrading.com and you can get everything there. So let's again break it down. What do you guys get for that $97? Bootcamp for day trading. Everything that I mentioned in the course, and you'll have a lifetime access to that. 30 days one-on-one mentorship with me. 30 days live chat room membership. 30 days in my live chat room membership. But here's the reality, guys. This is the absolute reality. It's all of this is worth than the one trade that you guys take per day. I know that because I trade as well. The minimum trade is usually around $200 to $400, right? This is worth less than the one price for one trade. This cost, the cost of this course really will bring you the 10x on your return of investment. Honestly, this is kind of a no-brainer, right? When you take this course, the education, working with me, it'll give you a chance to be able to do 100 of these dinners together, all of this. But here's the thing, okay? Because of my mentorship, my one-on-one that I really like to commit with my students, I can only take on 25 students. Okay, so I only have 25 spots available. And for $97, let me tell you, I can guarantee you they are going to go really fast and this room is super full. So take advantage of it, really. $97, you cannot go wrong. We work together. When you put in bootcampfordaytrading.com, go there right now, put it in your URL. It's going to take you to this order form right here. Here, let me show you. Okay, so bootcampfordaytrading.com right here. Bootcampfordaytrading.com. It brings you to right here, and it's a $97 one-time payment. If you want to do a payment plan, I do offer $59 two times. But once you do one payment, you automatically get access to the entire course, and you can start working with me immediately, and also the live chat room. So right here, bootcampfordaytrading.com, limited time, only for the people live during this presentation. Bootcampfordaytrading.com. All right, guys. Like I said, because of the one-on-one mentorship, I am only able to give it to 25 students. So go here right now, and I am really excited to have you guys in this course. Okay, I have some questions here. Does this work if you are not a day trader? Absolutely, because what we're talking about here, Chris, is understanding what the charts are telling you, how to read the charts, understanding the technical analysis. So if you're going to be swing trading, it's actually really great because then we could focus on the time frame, right? We could see the best time frame that works for you, because if you're swing trading, you don't want to be looking at a month chart or a 1 minute chart. So that really makes a difference, and we talk all about that during the course as well. Okay, are there any other questions? Please let me know if you guys have any other questions. I am happy to help you guys with any question. And again, bootcampfordaytrading.com. Everything right here, you guys, you can go and check it out. We work together for 1 month, one-on-one, really working with your charts so that you are fully ready to understand and go live. And again, I just want to say a huge, huge thank you for being here, taking that time out to be with us today. And thank you. Let me know if there's any questions or anything at all. And if not, I'm excited to see you guys in the course. Remember, bootcampfordaytrading.com. Let me know if there's any questions. If not, have a wonderful day or evening or morning, depending on where you guys live. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Otto. Bye, everybody, and have a fantastic rest of your day.